Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's Diego. How is everybody this fine day in beautiful K1 Visa land? And Jacob Myers is already saying good evening from Colorado and the Philippines. Well, hey, Jacob, how are you? We hope you're doing well, and we hope everybody in your family in the Philippines are doing well also. Karina is she's at right now. What's today? Saturday. Karina's at home. She was going to work today, but she took a day off, so she's in Bogota watching from her big flat screen TV in our apartment in Bogota. And Jody Fairfield, hi Diego, and Karina, hey Jody, how are you? How's your family? Now, July, if you filed a K1 visa in July 2022, okay, the first week of July 2022, USCIS has adjudicated your cases, and they started approving July 2022 K1 visa filers. Now that's going to make it people angry for May and June if they haven't yet had their visas adjudicated, but you got to be patient during this process. Julia Silver, good night. Good night, Julia. Ryan Redwood, check in. Ryan is checking in, right? Rayanne, right? And Rayanne is in Jamaica. Well, hey, I fly over Jamaica quite a bit when I fly down to Colombia. Now, if I fly over, let's say, if I fly from Houston to Bogota, then I fly over Jamaica. And let's see, Julia Silver, do you know how many cases I left from May? There's about 50 to 60 cases left to adjudicate for May, Julia. About 50, 60, somewhere in there. And Bees now says, I'm so impatient. No, you can't be impatient. You just got to go with the flow, guys. Go with the flow. Francois, good evening, Diego and Karina. Hi, Francois. I hope you're doing good. I hope you're feeling really good, okay? We're going to get you through this second K1 visa process for you, young lady. James Wan, good news, Diego. Even though NVC sent my petition back to USCIS, you told me the USCIS officer said there's nothing wrong. They just have to perform an extended background check on my fiance because she's Indian. Yeah, well, that's what I figured, James. I had a feeling that's what it was. I thought it was a security check. I think, am I right? She's in Central America. Kaiser H. Diego, during my beneficiary's medical exam at her home country, will she be required to bring all of her vaccination records, such as COVID-19 vaccination and other vaccinations are required? Okay, what Kaiser H, what your beneficiary needs to do is bring her vaccination record to her medical exam. Okay, the doctor, the civil surgeon, is gonna look at it and he's gonna say, okay, you need this one, you need this one, you need this one. Or he might say, or she might say, you're good. You don't need any vaccinations. But the doctor needs to look at it. Okay. Now the doctor has to be approved by the State Department for your embassy medical exam. So like in Manila, you go to St. Luke's Extension Hospital, and that's where you get your medical exam done. Now, I get a lot of questions about can my sponsor accompany me to my visa interview at the consulate in Mumbai, India? No. I found out the answer. The sponsor cannot accompany the beneficiary into the visa interview in Mumbai, India. Okay? Only if you are like very elderly, if you're getting a green card and you're very old and you need somebody to help you. Let's see. Francois, got an update for you. Okay, Francois, we're waiting. What's the update? Jacob Myers, so I know how many times you said leave Facebook groups, but something about the battle draws me into it. I got into a huge battle over people saying NVC processing times. Well, you go in there, Jacob, and you set them straight, okay? Go in there and tell them what the real deal is, because you have the knowledge, right? You're learning stuff from this channel, from other people who are posting on this channel. If you have information, go share it. And if you want to go on Facebook, if you want your blood pressure to go up, go in Facebook. Jacob told me I need to stop spreading lies about taking 60 to 120 days. Well, it's not lies, Jacob. It's truth. It's how long it's taking. Okay. And if people don't like the truth, if they can't handle the truth, then just smile at them and move on. Don't worry about it. Christopher Brown, Diego, the time frame from NOA 1 to NOA 2 is around 12 months and getting quicker. That's right. Now that's correct. Do you know when the NVC to the embassy will improve? Well, it's right now. Take it as a 90-day turnaround. Okay, from NOA 2 to welcome letter is 90 days, and when that improves, I'm going to tell you guys. All right. When it gets better, you'll be the first to know. Jason Mabry. I'm confident in our I-129F package, but I was told by my ex-lawyer I didn't need to include proof of income at that time. No, that's correct. You don't have to. Will this be a reason for an RFE? Yeah, you show your proof of income, Jason, at the embassy interview, okay? You don't have to include it in the I-129F when you apply for the K-1 visa, but I recommend that you do. I recommend that you do include your last tax return in your K-1 visa package, okay? It gives immigration a warm and fuzzy feeling that you qualify for the benefit, all right? Now, let's suppose the immigration officer is like hemming and hawing, looking at your visa package, and he's trying to make a decision, or she's trying to make a decision. And the immigration officer thinks to his or herself, well, I wonder if he makes enough money. If you include the last tax return in the visa package, you answered the immigration officer's question, right? Boom, and you get approved. That's the way I look at it. Put yourself in the mind of an immigration officer. Let's see. But your ex-attorney is absolutely correct. Jody Fairfield, doing well, thank you. My son and Isabel have their interview in Bogota in 2 weeks. Woohoo! Great job. Biometrics is next week. Medical was Thursday. Good job, Jody. My son can go to the interview with her in Bogota. Yes, Jody, your son can accompany your future daughter-in-law to the face-to-face interview in the U.S. Embassy in Bogota, Colombia. I promise you, you can do that in Bogota. In India, no. In Manila, Philippines, no. In Bogota, yes. But good job, Jody, on support and on giving your family support like that. Nick Palomo, good day from Chicago. Hey, Nick, how are you? Do I need a passport photos as the sponsor for anything? Well, Nick Palomo, you're going to need passport photos for your beneficiary's face-to-face visa interview at the embassy. You're going to need passport photos for the medical exam. So if you're watching this, guys, and you're getting ready to go to a medical exam, you got to get passport photos for the doctor, the civil surgeon. James Wan, hi Diego. So can I wait outside the embassy in Mumbai while my fiance is getting interviewed? Yes, you can do that. You can wait outside. Okay, wait outside. Just don't bring your cell phone because they won't let you use your cell phone. So you can wait outside. You're going to be bored out of your mind. Okay, so bring a newspaper to read because they won't let you bring your cell phone in there. Tamara Mathone, hi Diego. Since October 2022, still waiting. No approval notice. Since October 2022, Tamara, you should be hearing from immigration already. You need to be having somebody intervene and checking that out. What's going on with your case? Get on the phone. Find out what's going on with your case. Pete B, high five for Pete B. Pete B, you're keeping me in Mountain Dew. I appreciate you, man. You know that I like Mountain Dew, and thank you for that super chat. Okay. Now I'm going to be good for Mountain Dew for this week. The first week of July, Pete B got me stocked in Mountain Dew. And it's in the fridge. Let me see. Tamara. Francois Livingstone. I didn't have a solid answer on the waiting time when we can truly reapply for the K1 visa. So I utilized the benefit through work, which gave me legal advice for 4 hours. And guess what? What, Francois? What's the answer? I think you have to wait 2 years from the date of your last NOE1 letter. That's what I think is what it is. Okay. Let me see. Bahu. Hi, Diego in India. You can do joint sponsor for K1 visa. Yes, if you need a joint sponsor and your beneficiary is in India, you can have a joint sponsor. Not a problem. Joe Atala. Hello, Diego. Happy Saturday. Hey, Joe. Happy Saturday to you. Thank you, everybody, for joining us on your weekend. We appreciate you coming in here on the weekend and chatting with us and learning this K1 visa process. To all the new folks who are joining us, okay, I'm Diego. My fiance is Karina. She lives in Bogota, Colombia. She's from Venezuela. I'm not an immigration attorney. I don't give legal advice. Okay, I'm not a USCIS employee, but I've been through this K1 visa process 2 times and the spousal visa successfully so far. So I got all this knowledge up here that I give to you guys for free. And Pete B is keeping me in Mountain Dews. Jacob Myers. Nick, you got me confused as well. Come on, Jacob Myers. Well, wait as a sponsor. I need photos. I thought it was the beneficiary. Okay. Jacob, you're going to need a photo, a passport photo of yourself for the embassy interview. Okay? Not for the medical exam, for the embassy interview. The embassy officer wants to see who the sponsor is. Okay? Amber Tahia. Hey, do you know anything about I-30 visa from a citizen applying for husband in Nebraska? What cases are they processing? I'm not really following Nebraska. Now, my first K1 visa that I got approved in 2016 went through Nebraska, believe it or not. And it was a 9-month turnaround. It was from NOA1 to face-to-face visa interview in the embassy in 9 months. But that was 2016. So Nebraska was a pretty quick turnaround then. But for right now, I don't know. I'm tracking California and Texas for folks. Francois Livingston, no 2-year wait. Well, that's good news. You were told by an attorney that I can reapply now and send the withdrawal letter. There you go, Francois. There you go. Get it done. Get everything together for your K1 visa, part 2. Okay, don't mess it up. Make sure you got evidence that you guys met each other face to face within the past 2 years. Okay. Put together a spanking new K1 visa package and now the K1 visa process is going really quick. It went from 17, 18 months, it's down to 11 to 12 months. So by the time you get your package together, let's say you submit it, I don't know, let's say October, well, even before that, let's say September, it's going to be a quicker turnaround, Francois. And we're going to help you get through it, okay? Let's see here. Jenny Brielle. Hi, Diego. Is it that the NVC is backlogged? No. Or is it USCIS delaying the process? No. Janie. Yeah, well, in a way, USCIS is shipping visas every 2 weeks in big crates, okay? Because it costs a lot of money to mail a visa package from California or Texas or Nebraska or wherever, Vermont, to the NVC. Okay? So they wait until they get enough stacked up, put them in a box, and ship them every 2 weeks. So it could be USCIS is slowing the process down a little bit. Okay? But just be patient. Just be patient. You're going to get your visa, guys. You'll be fine. I'm just waiting out. I'm hanging out with you guys, right? In the same boat. Daggy. Hello, Diego. Hey, Daggy. Bahu. Hi, Diego. Do you still need to be working while you wait for a K1 visa interview? Your beneficiary can work if she wants to. Doesn't have to. It's up to, Karina works to keep busy. She doesn't want to be sitting at home bored out of her mind, so she goes to work. And she's setting up this new store in northern Bogota for her friend Mihai. For free.
She's getting her. Karina has a degree up in tax accounting and business management, so she's helping her friend get her business started before Karina gets on a plane and flies to Miami with Diego and our cat Tokyo. So she's staying busy. Scott Wells, hello Diego. Do you have update NOA 2 numbers for May 2022 filers? We're still one of the minority couples still waiting. There's about 50 to 60 NOA 2 letters or K1 visas left to adjudicate for May of 2022. So you should be hearing probably in the next week. Okay, give it another week. You should already have heard by now. Francois, an immigration attorney. Okay, Francois, you're good. OD, hey man, love from Cape Coral. When are you hitting the tarmac for Colombia? Well, I'm going to hit the tarmac for Colombia. I'm going to fly from Pensacola to Miami, then Miami to Bogota, probably in September. And then I'll do the YouTube live stream from Colombia. And Karina will be right next to me. And then you can ask her questions in Spanish. Okay? Jody, thank you, Diego. Oh, we may need you in the fall. No problem. Realtor Services. We will be trying to move back down to Santa Rosa County by the spring of next year. Jody, I'd be glad to help you. Not a problem. I'm a licensed real estate agent in Florida. Well, in this neck of the woods. I'll help you, Jody. No problem. Hannah 101. Hello. Do you know how many cases are they for July 2022? My NOA 1 is July 22, 2022. Hannah 101. I just made a video for you guys with July cases. I just made a video. Watch the video, and I give you the updated information for July 2022 filers. I just posted it. I just published it. Greg Lamping, FYI, our NOA 1 was 16 June 2022, and our NOA 2 was 26 June 2023. So that's a 12-month turnaround, Greg. Things are speeding up. Things are getting faster. Thanks for sharing that info. But that's good news, right? Good news for you. Amber Tahir, do you know what the time frame is for K3 visa in Texas? What are they processing? Well, K3 visas for Texas, I'm not really tracking. I'm tracking K1 visas for California primarily. So I really don't know. But the way things are speeding up with immigration, whether it's K1, K2, or K3, things are going faster. So it's probably the same for K3 visas. Jason Mabry, I will be bringing all the documents for my fiance interview in September to her. Okay, that's good. Don't forget the I-130. Okay, I will fill out the I-134 in August. Will this be current enough since our interview won't be till early next year? Too early for the I-134. What I would do is fill out the I-134, sign it and date it, bring it to her. But check the addition date when your beneficiary gets real close to her visa interview. Check the addition date and make sure the form that you give her in September doesn't time out. Because if the form times out, guess what? You got to redo it. But if the form doesn't time out, guess what? You don't have to redo it and you're good to go. So my recommendation is get the I-134 filled out, signed, dated, get it to her in September, and then just wait and see what happens. Let me see. Afif Raven. Hey, Diego, is 2 years tax return fine? Because my fiance, she don't have a reason to do it before. And that she got a house from her father. She started to pay since 2021. We have 2 years. 2 years. If all you have is 2 years, that's fine. They're only going to ask for 1 year. When you go to the embassy interview, they're going to ask you for your last K1, for your last tax return, 99% of the time. When you adjust the status to green card, okay, you only have to give the last tax return, your last year's tax return. But sometimes, if you get an RFE during the process, they may ask you for 3 years worth. If you only have 2 years worth, have a good explanation as to why you only have 2. If you got an explanation for it, then you're good. Immigration just want to know why. So you're just curious. The lawyer told us don't worry. Your lawyer is absolutely correct. Greg Lamping, thanks for sharing your wealth of knowledge. Greg, it's a pleasure. There's a lot of, when I went through this K1 visa process the first time in 2016, okay, it was a scary nightmare. I didn't know what I was doing. I was in a maze, walking in through a tunnel, and there was, this problem, that problem. Then I got an RFE, and I didn't have to get an RFE, but I didn't know the process. Now I know the process like the back of my hand, and I've got 2 K1 visas approved, okay, plus a spousal visa. So I want to give back the knowledge that I learned to help you guys, so you don't have to go through all the stress that I went through the first time. Now I'm on my second rodeo. I'm not stressed at all. I'm relaxed because I know what's behind the corner before I turn the corner. I come up to this corner and I look. I don't have to. If I look around, I know what's there. I know what's already going to be there. Okay, so I share the information with you guys. Francois, we have everything now. Thanks for you and the group support. There you go. You said 2-year wait, but the immigration attorney said do it now. Do it now, Francois. Do it now. Okay? Do it right now. Bees now. When they send case to NVC, will it update on USCIS? No. When USCIS mail your package to the NVC is done with your case. There will be 0 record at USCIS, okay? It's in transit to the NVC. When the NVC get it, they are now in control of your K1 visa package. They're in control of it. And USCIS is done, okay? When NVC mail your K1 visa package to the embassy, like when the NVC mail my K1 visa package to the embassy in Bogota, Colombia, NVC's done. They're done. It's now belongs to USCIS. It now belongs to the U.S. consular or the U.S. ambassador in Bogota, Colombia. That's how it works. USCIS sends it to the NVC. USCIS is done. NVC sends it to the embassy. NVC is done. Bahu, Diego, how much money do you need to show in the bank for the interview? And can my parents put like $15,000 in my bank account? It won't be a problem. No, your parents can drop $15,000 in your bank account, but the bank statement, you got to show the bank statement to immigration. You got to show, bring at least 12 months worth of bank statements, at least 6 months at a minimum. 12 months is probably ultimate. That's the Eagle Scout. The Eagle Scout Award is bring 12 months. The Boy Scout Award is 6 months. And then immigration is going to see where there's $15,000 was deposited into your account. And then immigration is going to say, where'd you get this money from? Did you win the lottery? But you can do that. You're good. Just be honest. Say, oh, my parents gifted it to me. Okay, boom. Jason Mabry, thank you, Diego. This channel is a huge blessing while we wait. Hey, well, appreciate that, Jason. Jason, we're going to get you through this process, okay? I know it's difficult for you guys. I know it's hard to be waiting for your fiance, for your future husband, and for your future wife. It's a hard process, okay? But beating yourself up over the time isn't going to help you. USCIS are getting faster and faster and faster. A year ago, I said by July or August of 2023, there's going to be a 10 to 12 month turnaround. And now it's 11 months, guys. I was a couple of weeks off. By September, October, November, it's going to be a 9-month turnaround, 10 months. By January, it'd be 6 to 8 months. Let's see here. Kaiser H. Diego, can my beneficiary get a vaccine waiver before her medical exam at the medical clinic due to personal health reasons? The civil surgeon is the only person that can give you a vaccine waiver. The civil surgeon who is approved by the State Department. Okay, but you can get her personal clinic, her medical clinic can write a recommendation, but the civil surgeon makes the final call. Not, Karina has her own doctor in Colombia, right? Her own medical doctor. But she does not have any authority over her medical exam or vaccination waivers for immigration. That's the civil surgeon. Okay? So she can get the letter, fine. It's a recommendation. The civil surgeon can look at it and make his recommendation. And more than likely, the civil surgeon will go with the doctor and say, no problem. Joy Inflow. Hi, Diego. Hey, Joy. How are you? I watch your videos a lot. You've been a big help in keeping me calm with the weight. There you go. Be calm. My fiance lives in Ghana, beautiful Ghana, and he has throat cancer. Oh, no. His voice box was removed in May 2023. Well, we got to get that taken care of, Joy Inflow. Got to get that, and the doctors in America are fantastic also. Okay. So we got to get him into America and get him taken care of. Joy and Flow. We filed our K1 and K2 for his kids in August 2022. Will he have an issue passing the medical exam? How will he do the interview if he does not have a voice? Well, then what he will do is he'll go to the civil surgeon, have his medical exam. Okay, the cancer's been taken care of, right? It's no longer spreading through his body or anything like that. It's been taken out, taken care of. So then he will give an explanation. The civil surgeon, the civil surgeon will write a note in his medical exam explaining that he cannot speak, and he'll be covered. Okay, he could probably write the answers down on a piece of paper. Okay, he'll just write the answers down on a piece of paper. That's the way I would do it. So relax on it. He won't have a problem, Joy and Flow. He'll be fine. Nick Palomo, do documents need to be translated for the medical exam, such as birth certificates and vaccine records? Okay, here's what I would do. Okay, get the birth certificate translated into English by a certified translator, and bring it to the medical exam. Probably not necessary for the medical exam because the civil surgeon is going to be a native of that country. The civil surgeon that's going to take care of Karina is Colombian. So he can speak and read Spanish. So it's probably not necessary, but I would bring it along just in case. Be an Eagle Scout, don't be a Boy Scout. Okay, bring it just in case. Benjamin Fredericks, things are speeding up, Diego. My NOA one letter from January 24th, 2023. Looks like they're on pace to review in December. This year, Benjamin, maybe November, you will get an NOA 2 letter. Maybe October. Things are speeding up. So remember what I just said. Maybe October of this year. Okay? So you're going to check back with us, right? When you get the NOA 2, or just keep watching us. 3 times a week, I'll be online, guys, with you guys, okay? Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays, 7 p.m. Easy to remember that. Jason, NOA 1 dated December 29th, 2022. Okay, what is your best guess when the K1 visa will be in our passport? Okay, December 29th, 2022. I will say around March of 2024, Jason. March, April timeframe. Right in there. Abdel Taltif Takishati. Hey, Mr. Diego, I paid my visa fee, okay, to schedule an appointment, but it says the request has been sent and will be reviewed. And I will receive all emails. Is this normal? Well, it is for this embassy. Which embassy are you working through? Sounds like it is for the embassy. How long does it take? I don't know. Tell me which embassy. Tasha Lynn's World, what do I need to do after I'm approved? What do the priority dates mean? Okay, with priority dates, don't even worry about priority dates. All you need to worry about is when is my visa interview. That's the bottom line, right? The bottom line date that you need to be concerned about is when is the visa interview? What day, right? NOA 1, NOA 2, NVC welcome letter, packet 1, packet 2, all that stuff is irrelevant. What's relevant is what day does my beneficiary go in front of the embassy officer, the consular officer, for her or his interview at the embassy. That's the date you got to be looking for. Okay? Hang in there. Hang in there. Try to push away or try to keep your mind clear of a whole bunch of stuff that's not helping you. It's only hindering your brain, getting you all filled up with information that you don't need. Okay. Let me see. So don't worry about priority dates, ranges. Everybody's on Facebook. The range. This is my range. Here's my range. You know what? The only range I know is buffaloes. They wander on a range and they eat. The buffaloes walk around Wyoming and they eat on the range. Okay, range numbers, all that stuff. Just focus on NOA 1, good. NOA 2, approved. Welcome letter, NVC, perfect. Next thing, get your visa interview scheduled. Let me see. Got to make sure I don't miss anybody. Denise Jefferson, Diego, when you cite these projected quick turnaround times, are you speaking about new applicants or suggesting that one like mine, NOA 1 2023, might be reviewed quicker? Yeah, Denise, I'm including you guys too. Okay, things are moving pretty quick right now. Okay, you're included in that group of things are getting faster. Okay, Denise, so you're good. I know everybody is impatient. Just be patient. The number one rule in a K1 visa process is be patient. You're in an inner tube, you're going down the Colorado River, and you're looking at the scenery all around you, and then boom, there's your visa. So Denise, you're going to be just fine, and you're going to be quicker for you also. Benjamin, if our relationship's starting fairly quickly, I only visited once, is it likely we get an RFE showing proof of further travel? Well, it depends on what immigration officer looks at your case. If you submitted a strong K1 visa package with one visit, okay, if you went on one visit and stayed for 3 months, that's a pretty strong visa package. The first time I went to see Karina, I was supposed to go for 2 weeks and I stayed for 5 weeks. And then on the second time I went to see Karina, I was supposed to stay for a month and I stayed for 5 months. I had to go through immigration hoops in Colombia, get permission to stay there. And then on my third trip to Colombia to see Karina, I stayed there 10 months. Then I had to get a visa from the Colombian government. Okay, that was, I had to get permission, obviously. So it all depends on how strong your visa package is. But if you've got evidence of a second trip, have it ready just in case you get the RFE. But I don't think so. I think you'll be okay if you submitted a strong package. Alda Ishakov. Hello, Diego. On June 10th, I received RFE. Okay, you responded to it. On June 15th, they received it. Okay, and it's 16 days and nothing. Okay, well, Elda, you got to give immigration time to review it. Okay, you're not the only RFE in the packet of RFEs. You're not the only guy with an RFE. I got one in 2016. Give them 4 to 6 weeks to review it. Okay, you're still early. 16 days is still early. Let me see here. Pure Husker Love. Son is moving to Bogota in August. NOA 2 is likely October, November. Is there any reason he needs to be in the U.S. when the NOA 2 comes? Can we as parents ship any documents he needs to them? Okay, if you have access to his mailbox, your son's mailbox, he gave you permission, you're going to need to open up the NOA 2 letter, right? When that letter comes, open it up carefully. You got to be careful you don't tear that NOA 2 letter. Make a copy of it and send it to him via FedEx. In Bogota, Colombia, FedEx stores are all over Bogota. Bogota is the FedEx city. So once you get the NOA 2 letter, you got to send it to him. That's it. That's all you're going to need. Let me see. Jacob, where can I find the info to source the NVC timeframe? NVC timeframe is on USCIS.gov. Google it. Go online and Google NVC.gov, NVC processing times. You'll find it. Denise, Diego, Eagle Scout versus Boy Scout. Are you suggesting that Eagle Scouts sleep on the job? No, Eagle Scouts don't They're just at a higher level. And if you want to get through this K1 visa process without mistakes, at a level of no RFEs, no errors, think like an immigration officer and submit a K1 visa package at a higher level. Okay, and instead of just throwing it together, slapping it together, don't do that. But you didn't do that. You're fine. You're going to get your K1 visa approved. Princess Lizzie, true, the interview date will either make or break your whole plan. The interview is the whole make or break of the whole visa. USCIS approve it, the NVC ship it, and the embassy officer approves it. Okay? USCIS approval is basically it's a temporary approval. It's not the final deal. The final say comes from the embassy interview. Greg, how long is it typically from NOA2 to embassy interview in Bogota? 8 weeks. Oh, from NOA2? Well, from NOA2 to the embassy is 3 weeks, about 3 weeks to mail the visa to the embassy. And then it's about 8 weeks to schedule the interview, get the medical exam and all that. About 10 weeks. It's about 10 weeks turnaround. Jason, my fiance and myself have a visa app to track our case. Are these reliable or just rely on USCIS? Sure, it depends on what the name of the app is. What app do you have on your phone? What's it called? I don't know. I don't put apps on my phone for really much of anything. Every time you throw an app on your phone, that gives the government more opportunities to track your phone and see what you're doing. I don't put apps on my phone. I don't even the only apps I have on my phone is YouTube and Facebook. And the only reason I put Facebook on there is because Karina and I are using Facebook as a proof of, communication for immigration. Let me see here. Abdel Taif, which embassy Morocco, Mr. Diego? Which embassy Morocco? How do you mean, which embassy in Morocco? I don't understand the question. Afif Raven, hey Diego, I got my NOA2 in June 1. Is when NVC got my case, so when the case left, they send notice. And how they send it, please explain. Okay, when you get your NOA2 letter, okay, you're going to get your NVC, you're going to wait for your NVC welcome letter. That takes about 90 days, 60 to 90 days. Go with 90 days. Once you get your welcome letter, in the welcome letter, there's going to be directions on what you have to do to go to the next step. It's all written down in the welcome letter. All right. Bahu, hi, it's been 90 days since I got my NOA2 and I haven't received any welcome letter. Well, you're going to get it any day now. I sent NVC mail 2 weeks ago regarding the welcome letter. They said it's at the NVC. Okay, so you just got to wait. You probably have another week to go. Maybe tomorrow. What's today? Saturday? Maybe Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday next week. You're going to hear from them. Okay, you're right at the finish line. Let me see here. Kaiser H. Diego, do you know the approximate cost of the medical exam which my beneficiary has to take in our home country's medical clinic? Every country's different, Kaiser. Karina's medical exam in Bogota is probably going to be $100, $150. In Dubai, it runs around, $500-600. In Egypt, it runs around $50 to $70. It depends on the country. Every civil surgeon has their own price for their medical exam. That's it. Your beneficiary needs to call the civil surgeon up in her country and ask. Jose Azabata, keep you the great info, Diego. Jose, no problem, my friend. Not a problem. Jacob Myers, but I can't find it saying 90 days. It doesn't say 90 days, Jacob. It says probably 2 weeks, 3 weeks. And if you can find one person that got their turnaround time in 2 weeks, okay, then I'll pay for your K1 visa. But there isn't any. There's a 90-day turnaround. That's the real data, okay? Nick Palermo, I watched your video on scheduling interviews in Mexico. Okay. We still have to schedule the interview overseas ourselves, right? It's not done for us. That's correct, Nick. You have to schedule the visa interview either in Ciudad or Mexico City at the embassy there. That's correct, Nick Palermo. Does documentary completed just mean that we ready status at the embassy? You won't see a documentary completed unless you're going through a spousal visa. If you're going through a spousal visa, you're going to look in the SEAC account for documentary completed. If you're going through a K-1 visa process, you won't see that. The NVC get it and they ship it to the embassy. Benjamin Fredericks, do you know how long it takes to get an interview at the embassy in Manila? Yeah, it's about 4 weeks to 8 weeks is what I'm seeing right now. 4 weeks is pretty quick. Denise, you always say, don't be an Eagle Scout, be a Boy Scout. Please explain why the Boy Scout approach is better with USCIS. No, an Eagle Scout is like a higher level of a Boy Scout, right? A Boy Scout, and then you advance to Eagle Scout. Think like an Eagle Scout. You can think like a Boy Scout, but a Boy Scout is progressing up the ladder to Eagle Scout. But if you think like an Eagle Scout, think like an immigration officer. What if you are an immigration officer and you're looking through a K-1 visa package? What are you looking for? What are you looking for to approve the package? Mr. Nahas. Hi, Mr. Diego. Hey, Mr. Nahas. LSV TV, Liberian Stars View. Mine said it would take a month before the welcome letter. I received my NOA2 May 11th, 2023. Don't believe what you read on the NOA2 letter. The NOA2 letter also says that your visa will expire in 4 months, right? But it doesn't. It doesn't expire. You're in the middle of a visa process. The only way your visa will expire is if you don't respond to the NVC welcome letter and you ignore it at that level. LSV still waiting. I understand. Jason Mabry, the app name is Immigration Case Tracker. Okay. What do you need that case tracker for on your phone? What you're waiting for is the welcome letter from the NVC, right? That's all you need to, that's what you're waiting for. You don't need an app on your phone. If you got an immigration app on your phone, you're going to be on your phone all day checking for status. Don't do that. It's going to give you a headache. Just my opinion. Jacob, laugh out loud. How do I source it for my battles on Facebook right now? It looks like I'm talking out of my butt. No, Jacob, stay out of Facebook. Stay out of there. Okay? You go on Facebook, you're going to be hearing horror stories. Horror stories. I'm getting deported tomorrow. Immigration came to my house and took me away. My husband's being deported. Why? Well, he beat me up. Then I got taken he went to the police station. Then the police turned him over to ICE. And then ICE arrested him. And now they're deporting him. Help me. What do I do? He's getting deported. He beat you up. America doesn't take kindly to that kind of stuff. If you are in the United States on a green card, you got to behave yourself. If you get in trouble with the police, okay, guess what? ICE is going to hear about it. Immigration will hear about it. Stay out of trouble. That's all Facebook is. Facebook is drama. I can't wait to get rid of my Facebook account. But I can't right now because I'm using it for immigration. Let me see. Mackenzie Owens, Diego, is it risky for the petitioner to move addresses if we are 2 months away from NOA2? If you don't have to move, don't move, Mackenzie. Don't do it. Stay where you're at until you get the NOA2 letter. Then if you have to move, move. But my advice is if you don't have to move, stay where you are until you get to the face-to-face visa interview and your beneficiary is in America. Then you're in America together, then you can move. But remember, when you get to the United States, if you move, then you got to adjust the status to the green card. You got to make sure the green card comes to your house. You don't want to lose that green card. Moving is not a good idea in the middle of a visa process, my opinion. You know, let me see. Francois, Is the K1 visa quicker versus spousal? The K1 visa and the spousal visa are about the same time frame, but the spousal visa is a nightmare at the National Visa Center. If you go through a spousal visa, you have to upload all kinds of documents to the National Visa Center to get documentary qualified. If you make one mistake, then you got to wait 3 months before you can go and upload the document and get it looked at. Make a second mistake, that's another 3 months you got to wait for immigration before they look at your case. Go through the spousal visa, go through the K1 visa. It's so much easier. It is. You fill out the package, you send it to Dallas. Dallas sends it to California or Texas. California gets it, they process it, they send it to the NVC. The NVC gets it, assigns a case number, and sends it to the embassy. Easy. But if you're going through a marriage visa, once it gets to the National Visa Center, the whole process stops for at least 3 or 4 months until you get the documents uploaded correctly. It's a pain. I went through it. It's a nightmare. Don't do it. Go through the K1. Let me see here. Nick Palermo. Sorry, a message didn't get posted. I was referencing a confusing statement from the U.S. Embassy in Mexico. Okay. Nick, it says K1 visas are being scheduled for appointments in Mexico City in the order cases are documentary completed. That is an incorrect statement. But what that's going to do is confuse people. Okay. What it should say is whoever wrote that is getting confused with the spousal visa. What that should say is, okay, K1 visas are being scheduled for appointments in Mexico City in the order the cases were documentarily completed. Well, that's totally wrong, because a K1 visa does not require to go through an NVC documentarily qualified process. So that's irrelevant. It's wrong. It's wrong. Bahu, hi Diego, do you work? Yeah, I'm a real estate agent, because you mentioned the immigration office looks at your tax returns. Just curious if you do joint sponsor as well. No, I don't need to do a joint sponsor, Bahu. Okay, my income is good enough. It's not great, but it's good enough, because right now, okay, I'm back and forth to Colombia, so I'm just back and forth to Colombia, so I'm kind of like in a hiatus. But when Karina gets to America, then I'm going back to do my day job of selling houses. But I do work, yeah. Abdel Latif, I paid visa fee to schedule the interview, but it says your request has been received. It will be reviewed, and I will receive the email when it's approved. I think I just answered that question. You just got to wait the process out. That's normal for Morocco. You just got to wait. Jason Mabry, we can only schedule the medical exam and embassy interview after case ready. Correct. Right. That's correct. Because you got to have the case number and the invoice number. And you get the case number and the invoice number when you get the ready status from the embassy, which is packet 2. That's it. Mackenzie, Diego, thank you very much for your advice. No problem, Mackenzie. Payari Mihak, my fiance passport will expire April 2024. If he renews his passport now, will that be a problem? The I-129F would have a different passport number than the one shown. No. If Karina's passport expired too. We got a new passport. Okay. So the number that was in the K1 visa is going to be different from the one on the DS-160. It's no big deal, just so long as the passport number on the DS-160 matches the passport that the immigration officer is going to see in her hand or his hand at the embassy interview. The immigration officer is going to take the passport from Karina. He or she's going to look at it, look at the number, match it to the number in the DS-160, and if they match, she's good to go, which they will. So don't sweat that. Francois, I was only asking your input because you're helpful of knowledge. Thank you. No problem, Francois. History Blitz, Diego, do you have top advice for adjustment of status after K1? Yeah, I made 2 or 3 videos on how to adjust status. Once you get your K1 visa in the passport, your beneficiary comes to America, you get married within 90 days, get the adjustment of status done within 30 days if you can. Get it done before the I-94 times out. And the I-94 is the 90 days that you are given permission to be in the United States to get married. Get the K-1 visa as in the history books. Get married, file for the adjustment of status within 90 days before the I-94 times out. And your K-1, your green card will be processed so much quicker. Really quicker. Bahu, hi Diego, how long is the process from NVC welcome letter to the interview? It depends on how busy the embassy is. Depends. It depends on how busy the embassy is. For me, let's just use Colombia as an example. I get the NVC welcome letter, let's say first week of September. Give them 2 or 3 weeks to mail it. NVC mails it to Colombia, give them 2-3 weeks. End of September, first week of October. I get the ready status first week of October. Then I'll schedule the visa interview probably for November. Works about like that. That's the process. It's not difficult, but every embassy is different. Okay. Benjamin, how long does it take to get green card after you marry and update your status? Anywhere from 2 months to a year. It depends on how strong of an adjustment of status paperwork you put together. It all depends. If you put together a really strong adjustment of status paperwork, then you won't need another visa, face-to-face visa interview for the green card. Then that will speed up the process. So if you submit a very strong adjustment of status paperwork, you're going to have a better chance to get the green card quicker and speed up the process. Let's see. Nick Palermo, thanks, Diego. That's what I thought. Feel like I've become a pro through these videos. Yeah, you're going to become a pro, Nick. Even caught my lawyer giving wrong and unhelpful info and fired him. It got rid of your attorneys, right? Saved you what, $3 or $4 grand? Just hang out with us. Hang out with us, and we'll get you through this. And I'll save you $4,000 in attorney fees, or $2,000, or whatever it is. Use that money for your honeymoon, or for your wedding, or for a vacation. Greg Lamping, I'm currently in Bogota with my fiance. Good, that's good to hear. Can my brother scan my NOA2 and email it to me? Sure, absolutely. You can do that. The NOA2 can be a copy. The I-134 has to be original. You got to have the original signed I-134 in your hand for your beneficiary in Colombia, okay? But a scanned copy of the NOA2 letter, front and back, is good. Got to do both sides now. But I'm glad you're in Bogota. I bet it's cold in Bogota. I bet it's been, was it raining today? Yeah, of course it was. It's Bogota, right? Jason, so I understand we won't get the case number from NVC. Yeah, you get a case number from NVC. That's packet 1. When the embassy receives it, you get packet 2. Then you get the case number with the invoice number and the ready status. So the NVC creates the case number, sends you packet 1. Here's your case number, but you can't do anything with it until it gets to the embassy. Wait 2 or 3 weeks for the NVC to mail it to the embassy. The embassy gets it. They assign an invoice number. Then you're ready to start running, scheduling the visa interview, pay the visa fee, get the DS-160 filled out. Let's see. Nick, can we send an inquiry to NVC? If you want to, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to wait for the welcome letter. If it takes 60 days, 80 days, 90 days, 100 days, one day there's going to be a welcome letter right out here in the mailbox. There it is. Bahu, my embassy is in India, Mumbai. So you're going to go to the consulate, not the embassy, okay? And it's about 2 to 6 months in Mumbai. Don't go to New Delhi. That's where the embassy is. You're going to go to Mumbai, which is the consulate for a K-1 visa, okay? Mackenzie Owens, also Diego, I'm in Fort Walton Beach. You're in Fort Walton? Down, so you're about an hour and a half from me, even about an hour away. Any good food recommendations in Pensacola? La Hacienda restaurant in Pensacola is the only place I recommend. La Hacienda restaurant. It's Mexican food, okay, in Pensacola. That is the only restaurant I will recommend in Pensacola, is La Hacienda. But Fort Walton Beach has got some nice restaurants too. There's a nice Greek restaurant there. Benny Yao. Whoa, Benny Yao is back in the house, back from the Ivory Coast. Hi, Diego. This is Benny Yao, back to the USA today. So you're in the hotel am I still waiting on NOA2? Hopefully soon. My visit to Ivory Coast went very well. Benny Yao, glad to hear you had a fantastic time in the Ivory Coast. When you're at the airport in the Ivory Coast, buy something with your credit card, okay, and keep the receipt. That puts you at the airport. You got to make sure you got all your evidence, Benny Yao, okay, from pictures, passport, boarding passes, photos with family and friends on the Ivory Coast. All right, get lots of pictures together, right? You got lots of evidence. Buy something at the airport before you fly to America, so it's on your credit card. Nelson Gooden, do you file the DS-160 before scheduling the interview or between scheduling interviews? You can schedule the DS-160 once you've paid the visa fee. Pay the visa fee. Once you get the invoice number and the case ready and the case number, you can start putting together the DS-160. You can start putting it together, putting the information in there. Just don't submit it. Just save it. And then it times out after 30 days. So you're going to get a 30-day timeout. So you want to time it around paying the visa fee, scheduling the interview, getting the medical exam scheduled, and then fill out the DS-160. It'll all come together, Nelson. Everything will come together. I promise you. Ryan, 123, do you have to schedule the interview before you can schedule the medical? It's up to you. You know, it's harder for me to schedule a medical exam than it is than the visa interview in Colombia. So I'm going to get the medical exam scheduled about probably 3 weeks before the face-to-face visa interview for Karina. Greg, not so rainy in Bogota. The weather has been nice. We were out of town today. So not so rainy in Bogota means it was raining in Bogota, but not so much. I'm messing with you, Greg. I'm messing with you. Faith, how long does it take to get welcome letter from NVC? 90 days is the average. You've been waiting for 2 months, so another 2 weeks to 4 weeks, and you'll get your welcome letter. Okay? Nick Palermo, I was talking about how I fired the lawyer. Can we inquire to NVC to have the welcome letter sent to me and not my lawyer? You have to write a letter to the NVC. You need to email the NVC and tell them that your attorney is no longer representing you, okay? That way, the welcome letter will come directly to you. But you got to tell immigration. Where is your record at right now? Where's your visa package? Is it at the service center or is it at the NVC? If it's at the service center, you got to write them a letter and tell USCIS that you have fired your attorney or you have relieved him of his duties and that you are the sole person that is handling the K-1 visa case. And then sign it and date it and include a copy of your NOA-1 or NOA-2 letter with the correspondence. But you got to notify immigration. Let me see. Mackenzie, thank you, no problem. Bahu, so to schedule an interview on Mumbai, it takes 2 to 6 months after the welcome letter from the NVC. Once you get the ready status, not the welcome letter, the ready status, okay, from the embassy. Once you get the ready status. Christopher Brown, Diego, where do you get your numbers on case status such as approved RFEs, etc.? I get it from USCIS. It's public record. You just got to dig deep in their information databases, and then you got to decipher it from the way they write it. You know, it's easy to do. Jeff Mantok, hello, hey Jeff. Alex Mo, hey Diego, I wanted to ask if I still need to fill out financial support form if I'm using an affidavit of support for visa interview. Alex Mo, when your beneficiary goes to her visa interview for her K-1 visa, she will have a declaration of financial support signed by you in her hand, signed and dated. I-134. Okay? That's for the visa interview, K1. The affidavit of support is for the green card process when you when you process for the green card in the adjustment of status. So, Alex, you will need to fill out a declaration of financial support form I-134, sign it and date it, give it to your beneficiary. Jason Mabry, my fiance has been complaining how cold she is in Ghana. 77? That's cold? Huh. Well, wait till she gets to a winter time in the United States. Jeff Mantok, I filed in December, sitting here waiting patiently. Be patient, Jeff. Be patient. Edita Polino, hello, hola Diego. Okay, so your K1 visa was approved on the 28th of June. How much time for the Dominican Republic? Okay, I translated that Edita into English for everybody, okay? If you got your K1 visa approved on the 28th of June, that was the NOA2 letter, right? Carta de número 2, Edita, carta de número 2, ¿sí? Aprobada NOA2, ¿sí? I need to know if that's what you got. Your K1 visa, you got your NOA2 letter. Francois, Jason, boy, your fiance doesn't know what cold is. Visit New York in the winter months. I was in New York City in April of 1982. And it was the blizzard of 82. And I got snowed into my aunt's townhouse in Staten Island. I had to climb out of the top window to get out of the house and then shovel the sidewalk and then shovel the thing. It's crazy. That's why I live in Florida. Vishal Goya, did you get your welcome letter yet? Did I? Not yet. I haven't. I got my NOA2 letter dated May 30th, 2022. Okay, so the welcome letter, I should get the welcome letter probably September, first week of September, end of August, end of next month, beginning of September. I'm just hanging out here at house, waiting on the welcome letter. Just like you guys. Okay? It's a patience game, right? And you just got to hang in there. Denise, you're going to be all right. Denise, you're going to get your K1 visa. Benny Yao, you're going to get your NOA2 letter next week. I bet Benny Yao gets his NOA2 letter next week. He's in Ivory Coast right now, fixing to fly back to America. Alex Mo, thank you for replying. What if your earnings don't add up to what's needed for the visa, like yearly earnings, so unemployed? I thought you can use an affidavit for the interview. Okay. Alex Mo, if your earnings are not quite where they need to be for immigration, you need to get a joint sponsor, not an affidavit of support. You get a joint sponsor who will fill out I-134. You're going to fill out I-134. You're going to get your tax returns and his or her tax returns and W-2s and 1099s. You're going to have two folders. One folder with your I-134 and tax returns in it and W-2s and 1099s. And then your joint sponsor is going to have a folder with his or her I-134, W-2s, and 1099s. Two folders. Your joint sponsor has to meet the income requirements. You don't have to. You bring both folders and give them to your beneficiary. Then immigration will take both folders and look at your income. Say, okay, you didn't quite make it, no problem. And look at your joint sponsor's I-134 and say, okay, this one's good. And your visa gets approved. Pete B, Jason, my fiance is from the Philippines, asked me how cold it is in Minnesota. I told her to put her face in the freezer for 5 minutes. Of course, I was joking, but that's how cold it gets. Yeah, Minnesota's cold. Oof. I was in Minnesota, I think, one time, but I was at the airport. I think I was just changing planes. That was enough for me. Cruise 2202, hey Diego, 74 days waiting for the case number from National Visa Center. Okay, so you got another 20 days to go. Hang in there, man. Come on. You can do it. Nick Palomo, sometimes I tune in just to see if Benny got his NOA 2. Yeah, Benny Yao is going to get his NOA 2 letter next week. I bet you. When I do the live stream on Monday at 7 p.m. Central Time on Monday, Benny Yao is going to jump on the live stream and say, hey, I got my NOA 2 letter. I bet you. I bet. What do you think? I think so. Now, I made a video today about July processing. July 2022 K1 visas are being adjudicated, okay? And I made a video today, about taxes, what taxes to bring to the embassy interview, tax returns, etc. And tomorrow, I'll make a video about whatever you tell me to make a video about. This is your channel. What do you want me to make a video about? You tell me what it is, and I'll make it for you, and I'll publish it. Cruise 2202. I hope so, to get the case number this month. Yeah, you'll get it. Well, we're in July, so yeah, you're going to get it this month, Cruz. Edita Paulino, USCIS approved my case K1 28th of June. So how much time do I have to wait? So now you're going to wait 90 days for the welcome letter from the National Visa Center. Okay? Edita, espera 90 días para carta National Visa Center. Es fácil. Relaja, espera. It's no problem. Edita, we're going to get you through this. We're going to help you. Ryan 123, administrative processing. Okay, that's a good idea. Let's suppose you go to your visa interview at the embassy and, you forgot your tax returns. Guess what? You're going to go into administrative processing. Let's suppose you go to your visa interview and you live in a country that, let's suppose like Nicaragua, and the immigration officer wants to do additional background checks on the beneficiary. Then you go into administrative processing. Things like that. Edita. Okay, thank you so much, Diego. No problem, Edita. ¿Tú entiendes mi español? Sí, poco. No problem. De nada. Administrative processing could be an interesting video to make because it all depends on what the reason is for the administrative processing. Mostly, 9 times out of 10, it's because of security background checks have to be completed. Okay, usually in countries, with a high rate, of political instability. Jason, Pete B, I had to explain what snow is to my fiance. Okay. Minesh Patel, for interview, can the tax returns and transcripts be printed double-sided? Sure, you can do that. No problem. It's a copy. Alex Mo, thank you, Diego. One more question. After getting an NOA 2, how soon do you start filing out the DS-160? Well, Alex, you got to wait for the welcome letter, packet 1. So you got your NOA 2 letter in your hand. Now you're going to wait for packet 1 from the National Visa Center, and you're going to open it up. You're going to read the instructions, and it's going to tell you exactly what to do. Okay? It's easy peasy, guys. You all can do this. I have confidence in you guys. Jeff Mantok, any idea how long it's taking to schedule an interview in the Dominican Republic? Like I say to everybody, it's 8 weeks, 2 months to 4 months for the Dominican Republic. 2 months to 4 months. I made a video about the Dominican Republic, and that was about a month ago. And back then, it was about 2 to 4 month turnaround. So I'd have to double check and see with the embassy and see what they're doing and see what their workload is. Okay, but every embassy is different. Okay, guys, what else you got? Throw some questions at me. I'm here for you. A video about administrative processing. We talked about NVC processing, packet 1, packet 2. Let me see. Ryan 123. Would you think Indonesia beneficiaries are susceptible to administrative processing? No, Indonesia is a 90% Muslim country, right? 90% Muslim, friendly, non-confrontational, peace-loving country. I have not met anybody from Indonesia who's a problem. They're relaxed, they're very courteous, very kind people, very nice people, very friendly, and it's 90% Muslim. So there's not going to be any problems with Indonesia. It's a beautiful country. So it's basically two countries separated, right? If I remember, an island. Mr. Nahas, any filers for June 2022 getting approved? Yeah, lots of people from June 2022, Mr. Nahas, are getting approved for their NOA2 letters. You are probably in that bundle. Next week, 2 weeks, Mr. Nahas, you're going to get your NOA2 letter, and then you're going to jump on the live stream probably next week and say, hey, I got my NOA2. Yuri Tussolini, tips for the K1 interview in Rio de Janeiro. Here are some tips. Dress business casual. Now, you got to have at least 8 months of time left on your beneficiary's passport. Brazil is a country that requires 8 months time plus, not 6 months. So make sure you got at least 8 months of time left on your passport. You're going to have to, Brazil is the only country that asks you to sign a letter of singleness. Carta de solidariedade. Okay? And that's in Spanish. It's going to be in Portuguese, I'm sure, in Rio de Janeiro, because Brazil is Portuguese. But you're going to have to sign a letter of singleness in front of the consular officer. They're going to ask you basic questions like any other interview. But the things you got to think about is you got to have at least 8 months on your passport, and you got to get ready to sign a letter of singleness in front of the consular officer. And dress like you're going for a job interview, right? Payari Mihak, NOA1, June 3rd, approved June 26th. So you're looking at a 12-month turnaround, guys, from NOA1 to NOA2. Mr. Nahas, thank you, Mr. Diego, no problem. Alex Mo, the way you help people through this process is amazing. We'll all appreciate you, Diego. Much love from New York. Well, much love to everybody in your family and everybody in New York. I love New York City. Beautiful New York City. I'm going to take Karina to New York, but it's going to be in the summer, not in the wintertime. Because in the winter, it's so cold. I remember my aunt lived in Staten Island. Sharon Persekian, high five for you. Super chat, Sharon, with Pete B keeping me in Mountain Dew. Okay, Sharon, you're gonna give Karina and I a nice lunch at our favorite restaurant in Bogota. Appreciate you, Sharon. Thank you so much. See, I'm not out selling houses. I'm doing YouTube for you guys, and these little super chats really are appreciated. Thank you. Okay, let's see. But New York City, I'm going to bring Karina to New York. Sharon, we appreciate you. Well, I appreciate you guys. I'm going to get you through this visa process without stressing it out. So you can put your head on the pillow at night and relax and not have nightmares, okay? I already had all the nightmares for you in the first K1 visa, okay? Now I'm in my second K1 visa with you guys, and I'm going to help you through it. Let's see. So, Mr. Nahas, cool, no problem. Let me just get rid of that little thing right there. Okay. So yeah, I'm going to help you guys through this process. Tepra Ordihimambo, please, any information about Kenya? I'm getting sick about this. Don't get sick, Tepra. Don't let immigration make you get sick. Please don't. Tepra, you are going to get your K1 visa. If you're qualified for the benefit, right? You met each other face to face within 2 years. Your sponsor submitted a fantastic package of information. You met each other. You got the income requirements are covered. Pictures together. Everything's good. But you're in a time. You're in a time constraint. You're all waiting. You're waiting. Can you imagine what it's going to be like for the astronauts that fly from Cape Canaveral in Florida to Mars? It's a 6 month, 9 month journey. Okay. What does a woman do when she's pregnant? She's got a baby in her tummy for 9 months. She's waiting and waiting and waiting for her baby. 9 months, right? It's tough to wait for something good. But at the end of it, once you get the good at the end of it, you make it through this process, and you're all going to forget about all the stress and the time and the waiting. You know, when your beneficiary lands in the airport in America and she makes it or he makes it through the border patrol checkpoint, you're not going to be angry at immigration anymore. You're not going to be angry at immigration. You're going to love immigration. You're going to be thanking them for giving you this benefit, right? But right now you're angry and stressed and miserable because you're waiting. Jason Mabry. Jason, high five, super chat from Jason. Guys, Karina and I are going to eat like kings and queens when we get to Bogota with these super chats. Thank you so much, Jason. Sharon, Pete B, thank you. Pete B knows I love Mountain Dew. So he's flipping me super chats for Mountain Dew. And I'm buying Mountain Dew at Walmart. Thanks to Pete B. And I got a fridge full of it. And let's see. Yuri, thank you so much. No problem, Yuri. Yuri, do I get that letter the day or do I need to get it beforehand? Ryan, yes, I agree, Diego. Indonesia was the most friendly place ever. Indonesia, it's a really friendly, beautiful country. The people there are fantastic. Yeah, and Alex, I'm going to help you guys. I'm going to help you through it. Okay, I'm right in the same boat with you guys. Alex, so Diego, does the medical and interview date come fairly close? Yeah, you want to get them. You want to get the medical exam first. Okay, get the medical exam probably 3 weeks before the visa interview. Let's suppose, in my case, okay, I scheduled the visa interview for Karina at the embassy in Bogota in December. Let's say December 1st. So I'm going to get the medical exam scheduled probably 3 weeks before that. So the first week in November, okay? The first week in November. Got the medical exam done. She gets a sealed envelope in her hand. She will not open that letter, even though Karina loves sticking her nose in stuff. She likes being nosy, and she's watching this as I say that, and I love her to death. She likes being nosy. So it's going to be the hardest thing in the world for Karina to have her medical exam in a sealed envelope sitting on her bedside table for 3 weeks before her visa interview. And I'm going to laugh at her because I'll be right there with her in Colombia. Let's see. Sharon Persekian, how quick or slow is the processing in Turkey? Sharon, it's Turkey, the embassy in Ankara is about 8 to 10 weeks right now. I saw a turnaround time of 10 weeks, okay, from getting the ready status to the interviews, about 8 weeks. It takes about 2 months to get into the embassy in Turkey right now. But things are going to speed up. I mean, the process is definitely getting faster and faster and faster. Kaiser, Diego, do you know how long does it take for one to receive the 2-year conditional green card after the adjustment of status has been filed? Yeah, it takes between 2 months and 8 months. It all depends on how strong of an adjustment of status paperwork you put together. If you put together a strong visa, a green card package, a very strong one, okay? And if you want, on Monday at 7 p.m., I will go over what you need to do for an adjustment of status. I've made videos about it, but if you want to do a live-to-live, face-to-face, one-on-one, everybody together, I will go over the adjustment of status process with you on Monday at 7 p.m. You will, at the end of the live stream, you will be Mr. and Miss Superstar on getting green cards. Okay. Yuri Tussolini. I meant the singleness letter in Brazil. I wonder. Oh, okay. I understand. You can print it. Here, Yuri, here's what you should do. Go into the U.S. Embassy website or the U.S. Consulate website in Brazil. And in fact, I made a video about it. If you go watch my video on the embassy processing in Brazil, I gave a link where you can go to get that letter. In fact, this is it right here. That's it. That is the letter. How organized is Diego, or what? That is the letter of singleness for Brazil in Portuguese. Go to the U.S. Embassy website in Rio de Janeiro, okay, and look, or watch my video on embassy processing in Brazil. Go to the link, and it will take you to that letter. Then all you got to do is print 2 of them, just in case you drop one in a puddle on the way to the embassy. You got 2. Always get a backup. Always have a backup. Okay? Sharon Persekian can't come fast enough. I want him here with me. Sharon, I want Karina here with me in Florida so she can complain about the heat. I'm in the same boat. But we're going to get through this. Okay? It's just a process. Treat it as a process. Like you're having a baby. You got your car in the shop. You're getting your transmission replaced in your car. It takes 2 weeks to get a new transmission put in your car. So you're waiting and waiting and waiting for that. You want to go on vacation next summer. You're going on vacation. Kids wait for Christmas. You got kids waiting for Christmas. Dad, Mom, when's Christmas going to be here? I want my presents. There's no difference, guys. Got to be patient. Jason, besides the medical exam packet, what other packets need to stay sealed? Just whatever immigration give you. Okay, when your beneficiary comes out of the visa interview, there's going to be one giant envelope. It's going to be one big envelope that's sealed. Inside that big envelope is going to be the medical exam that's sealed. So you're going to have the medical exam sealed inside another envelope that's sealed. So you're going to have one envelope that's sealed when you get out of your K1, when you get out of your visa interview. Okay, it's that easy. Don't open that packet. You're on the airplane. Your beneficiary is on the airplane. She wants to open up and see what's in there. She's being nosy. He's being nosy. Don't be nosy. Let's see. Jay Sanchez. How long after NOA2 does it take for the welcome letter? 3 months, 90 days, on average. Alex Moe, what can go wrong in medical exam for visa to be denied? What can go wrong? You have a contagious disease that cannot be treated. If you have a contagious disease that cannot be treated, that will be a problem. Okay? Except for HIV is excluded from that list. Yuri Tussolini, you're the best, Diego. Well, thank you, Yuri. Thank you so much, and God bless you. God bless you and your family. Thank you. Can't wait to watch a video of you and Karina at the airport. Hey, Yuri, we will do that. We'll make a video. When I fly to Colombia to finish up this visa process, I'll put together a video on my phone because my camera's in Colombia. I left my Canon M50 in Colombia so Karina can use it, take pictures, make videos, and not be bored. And I left my laptop in Colombia so Karina can use it to do stuff, whatever she does. But I'll put all the video footage on my phone and then transfer it to my laptop and make a video for you guys. My journey from Florida to Colombia, to Bogota. Or even better yet, I'll make a video of Karina and I going to the U.S. Embassy for the visa interview. Now, I'm not allowed to use my phone inside the embassy grounds, but I'll make the video for the best as I can to show you the process. Yuri, you can get that letter of singleness for Brazil right here. Go to the U.S. Embassy website in Brazil. Look for my video I made about Brazil. Go to my video, and all the answers will be there for you. You'll come. All there. Everything will be right there for you. Pete B, it's true. All you do for everyone, we can keep you supplied with Mountain Dew. Pete B, you keeping me in Mountain Dew, I'm happy camper. You know, Jason and, you know, you want, you know, Sharon, or you're going to feed Karina and I and keep me in Mountain Dew. And I'm going to save you $4,000 in attorney fees. What a deal, right? Piari Mehek, video how to make good visa package to make status adjustment for green card and Pakistani embassy. Okay, that's a good idea. Jay Sanchez, how long does it take to get an interview day from NOA2? Depends on the country. Depends. Every embassy is different. The workload is different. The workload for the embassy in Bogota is going to be different from the embassy workload in Kenya or the embassy workload in, I don't know, wherever, Uruguay. Alex Mo, we need them vlogs. LOL. Okay, guys, I have been talking for 1 hour, 25 minutes. I will be back on Monday at 7 p.m. Central Time, 8 p.m. Miami time. And I don't know if I got my time thingamajigger in here. Let me see. So that will be probably 1 o'clock in the morning, London time. If you're in Alexandria, Egypt, you'll be like 3 o'clock in the morning. If you're in Phnom Penh, it'll be like 7 o'clock in the morning. Athens, Greece, 3 o'clock in the morning. Cape Town, South Africa, 2 in the morning. Manila, Philippines will be 8 o'clock in the morning. And that's it, guys. I'm gonna go and drink a Mountain Dew. Thanks to Pete B. Pete B keeps me Mountain Dew. And Kaiser H, you're welcome. See you guys on Monday at 7 p.m. Thanks for joining us on the weekend, on a Saturday. Thanks for taking time out of your day. And see you Monday.